Hey, I think we are live. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Hello, world. It's Mr. Flickster, and I'm back. And today I have a very special guest. It's Katie from Popping the Popcorn. Say hello, Katie.
Hello, everybody.
And I just wanted to say thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's really nice of you to take time out of your busy schedule for my channel. I do appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome anytime.
Would you like to introduce the topic for tonight?
So tonight's topic is favorite horror comedies. So we'll be talking about some of those,
Yeah, it's
which
super
will be
exciting because there's a lot of good ones out there.
yes, there is. There's a lot of very good ones. I'm also sharing the stream out so that way people can come check it out.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So far, we got one person. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So, did you want to start things off? What was the first thing on
Um,
your list?
so I really like Shaun of the Dead. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I was going to mention that one too. That's funny. Go ahead.
Hmm. That's funny. Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. I really like that one. It's a fun one. I really like that one because I really like what's his name?
Simon Pegg.
I what?
Simon Pegg.
Yeah, I really like Simon Pegg because he's very versatile of what he does.
Yeah, she's a very good actor too. Like when he gets dramatic, you can believe it. But then he's also good with his comedic timing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he is. Um, but there's like so much in that film going on anyway. Like it's a zombie apocalypse, and then you're just like, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah. Especially when they don't even realize what's happening at first. I thought that was hilarious. Just the whole story. It's pretty
Hmm.
clever because it's a pretty good spoof of zombie movies, but it's also a pretty good zombie movie in its own right. Because at times it does get scary and it's really gory too, like a lot more than what you would expect from a kind of movie like that.
Right. Yes, I agree with you. I wouldn't have thought there was like so much gore in that movie, because it's a horror comedy. So most horror comedies you don't see too much gore in it. And then I was like, whoa, did this turn into a horror movie?
Yeah, it's cool how it starts off one way. That's what I like about Edgar Wright. He's such a good director. Like he's got that visual style, but he's also good at telling the story too. It starts off one
Yeah.
way, and then all of a sudden it changes as it goes along.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. So
And
what's one of your favorites?
Nick Frost pretty funny too. One of my favorites is one that probably some don't expect because it is pretty much a horror movie. Like it's really a slasher, but it's not really advertised as that. So like, anyways, it's also Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, and Edgar Wright. It's Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That movie is hilarious. And if you haven't seen this movie, yes, it is a slasher flick. Because people get picked
Yeah,
off one by one, people get decapitated. Oh, some of these deaths are surprisingly gory, kind of like Shaun of the Dead, but it's just a whole different. I like how they tackle like a different genre like that because it's kind of like a buddy cop movie. It starts off that way, but then it gets
right.
darker and darker. You get to this small town, and you know
Hmm.
something's up with this place because little things are off here and there, and it makes you wonder. You're like, that's kind of weird. You're like,
Right.
why'd that person say that? You know what I mean? Like you question everything.
Uh-oh. I hope
It's
my
really good for
computer
world
is
building.
not going to update. I hope my computer I have to do it later. Hopefully it doesn't kick me off. If it kicks me off, I'll come back on. But
Oh,
my computer just said it needed to update.
uh-oh. Yeah, no problem. If it does, we can just start over.
Yeah. I just wanna just in case. I just don't want it to do that because I've never had it done that before. Hi Jennifer.
Yeah, we got Jennifer Taki in the audience. She says hello.
That's one of
Katie.
my friends.
Oh, wow, cool. And then we have Haunted by Horrors.
Hey,
Says,
haunted
how's it
by
going
horror.
tonight? Pretty good, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So far, we've mentioned Shaun of the Dead and we mentioned Hot Fuzz. So what's next on your list?
Um I also really like the Final Girls. Have you seen that one?
Yes, that movie's hilarious. That was
Mhm.
really good. Yeah.
That one's kind of cool how they came up with the story to that one.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like Last Action Hero, but with like a slasher twist to it.
Mhm. Yep, I agree with you. I like that one because you're in like a movie inside of a movie, which is interesting.
And they keep having to replay it over and over and over. Like that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because they try to wait it out at first, right? But then they sit there for
Yeah.
like 90 minutes or whatever. They're like, oh, well, that's not gonna work. So it's kind of like Groundhog Day in a way too, or like Happy Death Day, because they keep
Yes.
redoing the same thing, but they try to play out different ways of how to do it.
Yeah, I actually watched Happy Death Day for the first time like a few months ago.
That's another really good one. I didn't include it on this list because there had so many already, and I had to cut some. So, but yes, I do recommend that one too. Happy Death Day is another really good one. Christopher
Yeah,
Landon, I think, directed that one. It's got a sequel. The sequel is pretty good, but oh, that original one, yeah, really
I
good.
didn't like it as much, the sequel to that one.
No, it doesn't have the same like caliber to it. Like it's not as funny. Like even the premise, it seems kind of forced. Like they had to
Yeah.
come up with an idea, so they had to go with something. You know what I mean?
hmm
But the first one's really clever, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. Haunted by Horsing, he liked Final Girls much better than I expected. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Totally. Thank you, Haunted by Horror. Also, how I'm sorry. I also like how heartfelt the film is because it's got that side plot with the girl and her mom, right? She ends up
hmm
in that car accident, and then she gets to kind of say goodbye to her again, sort of. When she
Yes.
tries to save her, it doesn't really work out. But yeah, it's just another element that you don't really expect it because the preview from it was kind of goofy. So I like
Yeah,
that unexpected surprises like that
I do too.
when it has that substance.
hmm Oh, Jen, you watched Final Girls last week for the first time? You loved it? Yeah, I liked it too.
It looked like you picked a pretty popular one there. That's awesome.
hmm
For my next one, I'm going to go back in time a little bit for something a little more old school. I'm going to say Ghostbusters, the original one from 1984. Because when
Oh
I was a
yeah,
kid, this movie scared the hell out of me when I was a kid with like the Zool dogs and like a Gozer at the end, and even the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like I thought that was terrifying. Like I actually had nightmares from this movie when I was a kid. So I consider it one of those horror comedies because it's all about ghosts and the paranormal, but it's just a funny take on it. And there are
hmm
times where it does take that turn. It does get really, really dark, like the part of the couch and like the fridge and with the egg. Like there's a lot of creepy stuff in this movie if you think about
right.
it. And even like the librarian scenes, like in the beginning, like oh, so good. And it's
Yeah,
really
I love.
funny too. Like I think it's one of Bill Murray's best performances, in my opinion. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it is. I like Ghostbusters too. I could talk about Ghostbusters all day long.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is awesome. I even liked Afterlife, the newest one that came out. I thought that it was really well done. The way they kind of connected it to the other ones, it kind of felt like Ghostbusters, like a true Ghostbusters 3, almost.
I agree with you. I thought I liked it better than I thought I would. I just watched Afterlife because it came out on Stars, so I actually just watched it like a few weeks ago
Oh,
for the
perfect
first
timing. That's
time.
awesome. I'm glad you
hmm
liked it.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it, and Paul Rudd did a pretty good take on it.
Yeah, yeah. I like how the different kids were interacting too. I really like the kids in that one. It's a different
Mhm.
take on it because we haven't really seen kids in that kind of role before, and the equipment and with the suits on, and they're even driving the car. It
Yes.
was a nice surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Excuse
was.
me.
Oh, you're good.
Uh, well,
That's
what do you
why I
think?
always have water or something.
Yeah, that's right. What you think of the 2016 one, the all female one? Because that one's kind of polarizing. I've noticed.
That one I didn't like as much. I mean, like I like the female actors that were in the movie or actresses if you want to say. But I didn't like it as much. I thought they were trying too hard.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I do like the casting, but the comedy did feel kind of forced. But I don't think it was a bad film. I did enjoy it, but I think Afterlife was better. Like that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Uh,
Yeah, Jen,
Jennifer
I love
Tati
Bill
said,
Murray too.
"Awesome choice. Love the Bill Murray's humor." Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Bill Murray's hilarious. Cats and dogs living together.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Bill Murray, one of my other favorites is Zombieland. I love that movie.
Yes, I was gonna mention that one too, so I'm glad that you mentioned it. Real quick, Sabrina Kelly says Afterlife was a good movie. Oh, I'm glad you
Yeah.
liked it.
Yes.
But yeah, oh, go on with Zombieland. Yep.
I love that movie. I'm not really a Jesse Eisenberg fan just because of the way he is, and I didn't really like him as Lex Luthor and when he played in that DC movie.
No, I
But
didn't like that.
but actually in this movie I don't mind him too much. And I'm an Emma Stone fan, so I love Emma Stone as well.
Yeah, I'm a big Woody Harrelson fan myself, so I think he's really good with his like comedic timing and stuff like that. And he can get
Mhm.
emotional when he wants to, like that little side plot with his son. I thought it was so touching because you think it's about the dog for the longest time, just because the stuff that he says about him. And then
Mhm.
he says something about, I think he mentions his laugh or something like that. And then he clues in,
Yeah.
you're like, wait a second, whoa.
Mhm.
And things get
Yeah.
real fast.
And and also in Zombieland, there's so many cameos in it from other actors and actresses. And that movie, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. Like if you've seen it once, you have to watch it again because there's stuff that you missed in that movie. There's like Easter eggs inside that movie.
I love movies like that. They're so rewatchable. That shows how much thought they put into a movie when you can see things different, like little
Hmm.
things here and there, like all throughout the film. Every time you watch it again, I've seen that movie so many times.
Hmm.
It's just
What
so
did
funny.
you
It's really quotable too, eh? Like the different roles and stuff like that. You just can't help it.
What did you think of Double Tap?
Double Tap was
Zombieland
pretty
Double
good.
Tap.
I thought it was pretty good. Like I wasn't disappointed by it or anything like that. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good sequel. It's not better than the original. But that
Right.
one's just so well written, and a lot of times the way it goes, people have more time for like their first movie because they're working their whole life on it, right? And then when it's time for a
Right.
sequel, they have what, a year, 2 years to pump out a script and get the thing made.
Hmm.
So you can tell there's not as much thought into it, put into it. But I thought it was still really funny. Like it's a good sequel. Like it's fun to watch them both back to back because you can see the evolution of the zombies and how the characters have evolved too, and it's good how they continue the story. Like this has been going on for a long time. Even the zombies are starting to evolve. Like they got the super zombies now, so you have to try and
Right.
deal with that. It's like a whole new element. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I would recommend it.
Right. Yeah, I recommend both movies. If you have time, I would watch both of them back to back because they're so much fun.
So much fun. And it's another one of those things. The more you watch it, the more you notice. Like whether it's in the background or like whether it's a cameo you didn't notice or just like a comment someone said, like because
Hmm.
you might miss what people say because you're laughing at other lines. Like it's
Hmm.
really funny.
Yeah. Jen, I'm surprised you haven't seen that movie.
Oh. I think my favorite from the first one is that zombie clown toward the end. That's just
Oh
terrifying.
yeah,
That's so scary. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, ah.
yeah. That clown. I don't like clowns.
I don't know. Same here. I do not like clowns.
That's
So if
why I
I had a,
won't. That's why I only watch it every now and again because I don't like clowns.
yeah, I'm the same way. Like I like the killer clown movies, but I can only handle so much so often because that generally
Mhm.
creeps me out. Like that's one of my phobias. So I
Right.
agree. For my next pick, I'm going to stick with the zombie genre. I'm going to say Little Monsters. Have you seen that?
Uh,
It's from 2019, I think, maybe 2018.
um. Well, there's also an old one though. Little
There's an older
Monsters.
one, yeah. But I was talking about the one about the teacher and the singer, and then there's a zombie apocalypse. So they have to try to protect the kids. They're on like this petting zoo. They're on like this field trip.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, okay. I think it's on Amazon Prime. But
Okay, I'll
yeah,
have to check it out.
it's got the one lady that was in Us, the Jordan Peele movie. I forget her name.
I
Lupita
haven't seen
something.
Us. I haven't
Oh, you
seen that
haven't seen
horror
it.
movie yet.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, this one it's pretty funny because the whole time she's trying to make sure that the kids aren't afraid. So she tries to play like little word games with them, and she has this little like ukulele, and she sings
Hmm.
little songs to them, like "Happy You Know It," "Clap Your Hands." But eventually, the zombies start like clapping their hands too, and they try to find
Hmm.
different ways to get out of certain situations. And Josh Gad's in this too. He plays like this TV personality for like this kids show. And
Hmm.
then it's funny because when the zombie apocalypse hits, you see everybody's true colors come out. You see like who's generally nice, who's not so, who should be trusted, stuff like that. So it's got different layers to it. There's a lot of
Hmm.
substance to it behind the
I will
comedy.
have
So I
to
really
check it
appreciate it
out.
comes like that. And the practical effects are really good too. This movie is so gory, like it's unexpectedly, but like shockingly gory. 'Cause it's so over the
Hmm.
top. It's almost cartoonish. You get zombies getting run over by tractors, and they use like farm equipment to chop them up for little pieces and stuff like that. It is
Right.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. I will definitely have to check it out because I've never seen that one.
Awesome. Let's catch it up with the chat real quick. Jennifer Tachi says clouds.
Yeah.
Haunted by Horror says Zombieland's worth watching for the Bill Murray scene alone. Yes. I don't want to say too
Yeah,
much
I
about that because that is probably the best part of the movie. Thank you.
agree. Mhm.
And then Elizabeth Bullock says, I agree. Love Zombieland.
I think everybody loves Zombieland.
That's one of those
It's
crowd
one of the
favorites.
most popular ones.
It's so rewatchable too. I just put it on just like random days just to see it again, just because it's just so funny. Or just have it on like in the background while I'm doing housework or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I can watch it anytime. It's one of those ones that you can watch anytime.
That's awesome.
Um, Another one of my favorites is the Goosebumps movies. I mean, like I know it's not really horror, but I love that movie.
I totally include that because I was going to mention that too. That was here in my notes. But that's funny that you mentioned that. So go ahead. What were you going to say
Uh,
about that one?
I
What's your
like
favorite?
that one because I grew up with the Goosebumps books and the
Same.
Goosebumps TV shows and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And so it's kind of cool to see Jack Black play R.L. Stein in in the movie and stuff, and it's really cool. Hey Ashley.
Yeah. That's one of those roles too that you wouldn't expect Jack Black to be in it. So when I first heard that, I was kind of skeptical. I wasn't sure how he was going to be exactly, but he was
Hmm.
really good in it because he's good in the dramatic roles too. A lot of people tend to forget that. Like he's better. No, he's good at more than just comedy. A lot of comedic actors can't really do both. But he has
Right.
movies like Shallow Hal that have that more of a
Hmm.
serious tone to it, and it has got one of those lessons to it, and
Yeah,
it's really good. Like his performance is really endearing. So
I
here, like
agree.
I thought it was really good. He was in that father role. Then you have the whole thing with the daughter to kind of add to what's going on. So
Yeah,
like I don't want to say too much for people who haven't seen it yet, but it's so good. The sequel was okay. What did you think about the sequel?
I didn't like the sequel as much, but I thought it was cool though that they put Slappy in there, and I thought that was kind of cool because he's my favorite character in the Goosebumps cinema. Even though that he's a dummy, he's a creepy dummy, but he's my favorite character, and I thought that was kind of cool that he that they incorporated him in it.
Yeah, for sure. He's one of my favorite characters too because they kept making that book had a lot of sequels. Some of the Goosebumps books had different sequels to it. I think that one probably had the most, aside from like the Monster Ooze one. But yeah, I was the same way. I grew up reading the books and I watched the TV show and just the level of things they included. Like there's so much. It's one of those ones. The more you watch it, the more monsters you notice in the background. You're like, oh, I know that one. I know what they're from. Oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool. You just do
exactly.
so much to it. Like,
Slappy kind of reminds me of Michael Myers, kind of in the Goosebumps series. The way he's like going after people and stuff.
he's so creepy in that. Yeah, I totally count that as a horror comedy because it does have a lot of the scary elements to it. Like they jump out. There's so many monsters too. Like the bubble snowman's in it. They even had the giant mantis. I wasn't expecting them to include like that much level of detail. They
Hmm.
had the werewolf. The werewolf story was always my favorite. When the kid goes to the camp and he finds out he's a werewolf, that was really good.
Right. Yeah, I like that one too.
So yeah, that was an awesome choice. Thank you very much
You're welcome.
for one that I
I
like
must I
too.
must be reading your mind for some of these.
Yeah, exactly. Great minds think alike, right?
Yeah. Well, if
So
you have similar taste, I think that's what it is. If you have similar taste in movies, you're gonna like the same kind of things.
yeah, and I think that's really hard to do with to have a good balance of both humor and horror, but still make it legitimately scary. Because a lot of these movies, they do have
Mhm.
a lot of gory, intense parts, and even the acting, like the whole tone changes, and that's
Mhm.
very delicate. That's a very tightrope to walk. Not
Yeah,
everyone can do it.
yeah, I agree.
So for my next pick, I'm going to go a little bit more into the goofy territory because we can't not talk about horror comedies and not mention this one. So it is Scary Movie, the original one from 2000.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
I love this one because, well, obviously, if you see my channel, you know I'm such a huge Scream fan. So the fact that they actually had like a parody, because I grew up on I was a 90s kid, so I grew up on the 80s films like Naked Gun and Hot Shots and stuff like that. So I love
Mhm.
spoof movies as is. And then
Right.
when you find out the Wayans brothers were gonna do like a modern take on like their spoof movie, but have all these different horror references and stuff like that. I thought it was so good. And there's a lot of different references. There's more than just slashers. There's like found footage because they talk about Blair Witch. They go
Yeah.
into just all these other different categories, and the cast is really good. There's
I
just so many
agree.
good things about this movie.
The
What's your opinion
Scrooge
on that
with
one?
Bill Murray, that one falls into a like comedy drama.
Uh,
Yeah, that one more falls into like comedy drama.
yeah. Let's catch up on the chat here real quick. It just popped up real quick. Colorado Killer Queen says she liked the haunted mask. That's the one scared
Mhm.
her the most. Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, that was. And Haunted by Horror saying the same thing, and Jen saying she likes Slappy too.
Yeah, yeah, Haunted Mask was a good one. Colorado Queen also likes Scary Movie 2. That's her favorite. That one, yeah, because that goes more into the paranormal side of things and the haunted house movies. And they even talk about The Exorcist. Yeah, yeah. And I love how the Scary Movie, the original one, it kind of spawned all these other movies that came out afterwards. Like there was Epic Movie,
Mm-hmm.
Date Movie, Disaster Movie, like Night of the Teen Movie. Like,
Right?
so many. Like it really reinvigorated. So it had that pop culture impact too. Like it was very powerful. It has spawned what, like 4 or 5 sequels? Scary Movie 5, I think it was the last one.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of sequels
there's
to
a
it.
lot of sequels because there's just so many different things you could touch on for horror. And I like how each one comes out, it kind of shifts to what was more popular at the time, just like Naked Gun did, just like Hot Shots did at the time. Like it's pretty cool. And I know
Right.
like over time they dropped out the Wayans brothers. I think it was about the third one. People that did Airplane took over. So it was cool to see their take on it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree with you.
Awesome. Real quick in the chat, Sabrina Kelly says, I'm not sure if this falls into the category. Yeah, okay. You touched on that already. Yeah, that's more of a drama. I wouldn't really consider Scrooge to be like horror. It's got the one scene with
Yeah.
like death at the end, but there's not a whole lot of horror elements. Not like some of the
Yeah.
other stuff that we've talked about. So, what was next on your list?
Yeah, it's like I have to say it's like a comedy drama.
Yeah, I agree with that. Doesn't
Because there's
qualify for
just
this list, but good movie.
yeah, it is. Jennifer saying you can't go wrong with the Wayans brothers. That is true.
Oh, that's so true. Because I grew up on like a Living Color, and I watched the Wayans Brothers show, and that was on for a little bit. That wasn't
Mhm.
on long enough, in my opinion. But yeah, those were good shows too.
Yeah,
Love
they
the Wayans
were.
Brothers.
Yeah, they were. Another one of my favorites was Warm Bodies. I really like that one. That one's more of a serious comedy, but it's a comedy. But
Yeah, I agree, but I think that qualifies too because it's got that whole zombie element to it too, so it adds to the horror.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's so funny, especially when they start talking and they're like brains, brains.
There's a lot of good comedic performances in that. Yeah, for sure.
And then he like lives on an airplane and he's like trying to show her his home and stuff. It's so cute. That part's so cute.
I like the evolution of the relationship too. It doesn't feel forced or anything like that. You can see it grow as it goes along, and it's nice when movies have that character development.
Yeah, I agree. Hey,
Jennifer
Kanisha,
says, "Can't go wrong with the ways." Oh yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm behind on the chat here. You keep mentioning
it's
it.
okay. You haven't been streaming that long. I tell people when it's hard being the host sometimes because you have so many people talking to you, especially if you're a channel that has like a lot of comments, like a bigger channel. You can't keep up with the chat sometimes.
I appreciate the advice. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
You know, so
Here we go.
sometimes even the bigger channels, they're like 20 comments behind. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
don't feel bad if you're behind.
Okay, cool. Hannibal Horror says, I've always considered Return of the Living Dead to be a zombie comedy movie, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with that
I
because
agree
there
with
is
that.
zombies in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And it is
I haven't
funnier.
seen it in a long time, but there's zombies in there. I would consider it a zombie movie. If there's at least one zombie in there, I would consider it a zombie movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then that would qualify for horror for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
zombies. Yeah, pretty much any monster. You can put a werewolf in there. You can put vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to have something that
Well,
has to do with horror.
just because you think of it that way, I put it this way. If you think it has that element in it, nobody can tell you what your opinion is on it. It's your opinion. So if that's what you think it is, that's okay. You know.
Very well said. Denisha Lane says, "Hey, Katie and Mr. Flickster." Hi, Denisha.
Hey, Denisha. I hope you're doing well. I see Denisha all the time and Haunted by Horror all the time.
Colorado Killer Queen agrees with Haunted by Horror. It's definitely a comedy.
Ashley, I hope you're doing well. And Jen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Aw, thank you.
Oh, so sweet.
Well, as you get to know me, everybody in here in this chat knows me. They all know that I'm very sweet, so that's why she's saying that.
Oh, well, thank you everybody for joining us. There's 6 people on the chat, and you're all so talkative. This is really exciting. I wasn't expecting so many people because you never know with the live stream, especially with a channel like a young one like mine. I just started back in January, eh? And it's
Oh,
only
I didn't
been
know that.
like 6, 7 months. Yeah, yeah. So
I
I'm
didn't know that.
very, very new to this whole YouTube thing.
Well, you're doing a great job. I watch your content, all your content and everything.
Oh, I
But if you
appreciate
ever
that.
have any questions, just reach out.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully we can get together and do more videos in the future. I'm having fun so far.
Yeah, we can, of course. Um, anytime. My schedule's more free than most people's schedules, so.
That's awesome. So for my next pick, I'm going to go back to the Wayans brothers because they did, well, at least I think it was Marlon Wayans. He did another set of horror movies, spoofs. They're called A Haunted House. Have you heard of these?
I
They're not
haven't
as
seen
well
those.
known. Oh, well, there's actually 2 of them, and they're both really good because they tackle, like, they make fun of the Paranormal Activity movies a lot and the
Mhm.
Conjuring movies. Like, there's different references to, like, Annabelle and, like, the original Conjuring,
Mhm.
and there's like, a lot of things in the Conjuring universe. But it's got the Wayans brothers kind of style to it, and it's got their kind of humor to it. And if you haven't seen it, I really do recommend these because it is so funny. It's got Cedric the Entertainer. It's got like Gabriel Iglesias. It's
Oh
got
yeah,
a really good cast, like
that
a
sounds like a really
surprisingly
good
good
cast.
cast. Pardon?
I said that sounds like a really good cast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so funny too because just the way they do the found footage, and then you notice it's one of those rewatchable ones too. You notice different things like, oh, that's Paranormal Activity. Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
Annabelle. Oh, that's another movie.
Right.
Because
It
there's
kind
like,
of it kind of reminds me, the House on Haunted Hill. Like it would be a spoof off of that one instead of like the paranormal drama. It kind of reminds me of that movie.
yeah, yeah, that's another good way to put it because it does kind of touch on that one too, and it touches on the haunting. Like there's a lot of
Mhm.
paranormal movies that it touches on, especially haunted house movies. Hence the name.
Right. Yeah. That
So
sounds.
yeah.
I've seen the trailer to it and stuff like that. I just haven't checked it out.
Oh yeah, it's really good, especially if you miss the Wayans brothers doing the scary movie kind of thing. It's really good to see
Mhm.
them get back to that.
Oh, okay, nice. Since we're speaking of those type of movies, my other one is Boo. Have you seen that one with Medea in it?
I have not seen this one. No, you actually
Oh,
telling me a movie I haven't seen. Wow.
it's a lot of fun. If you like Medea movies, you know what you're gonna get with Medea movies. But this
I've
one's
seen a
so
few. Yeah.
much fun because in this movie, Tyler Perry plays Medea and he plays like the Joe and everybody else in this show. But he also kind of plays himself. Well, he doesn't really play himself, but he plays a different character, but it's him not in the makeup or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yep.
And so in this movie, his daughter wants to go out with her friends on Halloween, and he says, "No, you can't go out." And so they go and follow her, and Medea's just being Medea and being all crazy and stuff like that. And they actually go into this like haunted house. Like the kids actually stumble upon this haunted house, and Medea and Joe and all of them try to freak them out and stuff. It is so funny.
That sounds hilarious. Wasn't there a sequel for that one too? I think I remember hearing
Yeah,
something
Boo,
about
Boo
that.
2. It's called
Was
Boo 2.
Boo 2, was that one good too?
Mm-hmm. But the
Yeah.
first one's the best one. But Boo 2 was good too.
Awesome. What was the second one about? I don't even know.
The second one is where they're in like Medea's house. I think it was Medea's house. It could be the actual Tyler Perry person of himself. And they're just like hanging out on Halloween night and stuff like that. And Joe turns into like the zombie or something. It's so funny.
That sounds really good. I haven't checked those out because I was kind of nervous about it because I wasn't sure. Like, I'm kind of like iffy about the video movies. Like, they're okay. Like, they're funny.
Mhm.
So, like, I know they're really popular. So I think I'll give that one a chance. I think you talked me into it because it's getting around that Halloween season in a few months. So I like
Hmm.
finding movies that are on Halloween or like based around
Me
Halloween because
too.
they're actually hard to find. Like there's not that many like Halloween movies, and not just like Michael Myers
Oh,
movies.
one of my favorite Halloween movies is, I guess it's kind of considered a horror comedy, but it's not. It's more serious, but some parts are do have comedy. Is Trick or Treat with Sam.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like how
That
it's in. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say that one is kind of a horror comedy, but it's more horror. But I actually like that one.
That's one of those ones that's surprisingly funny. You don't expect it to be as humorous as it is.
Hmm. Yep. I also been to Universal for Halloween Horror Nights, and they had a trick or treat house one year when I went, and Sam's up on the ceiling, and you can see him with the half-eaten lollipop.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That sounds like really cool to see.
it was really cool.
There's a lot of dark humor in that too, because the story is going the one way, especially with like the father and his kid and the pumpkin carving and stuff like that. Like I don't want to spoil
Hmm.
it because it's one of those shocking things. You're like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, they went
Right?
there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like when movies aren't shy like that. Like they know what they want to be and they just go for it. They know they want to make more of a horror movie, and they weren't shy to.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Real quick, Jennifer says, "You are doing great, Mr. Flickster." Aw, thanks, Jennifer. And she says, "Those are great movies."
Yeah.
For my next pick, this is probably more of a comedy than it is a horror movie. But again, it's got a lot of those horror elements, so it might be kind of bending the rules for this one. Maybe you'll agree with me. It's Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, I don't like that movie, but
You
I've
don't like
seen
that
it.
movie, eh? Oh, okay.
But I've seen it though.
You have. Okay, cool,
It's a
cool.
good it's a good one. It's good. It has the horror elements in it, and the Haunted Mansion is one of my favorite rides at the Magic Kingdom. So
Yeah, same here. I love that ride. And then when I found out the movie was coming out, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But then you hear like Eddie Murphy and his family. So you're like, okay, like where are they gonna go with this? Because the
mhm.
story itself on the ride, like it's got its own story. Like they could have just based it off the actual ride, but they went kind of a different direction with it, and I thought that was kind
Mhm.
of cool. I did like the cast. Eddie Murphy's really funny. I like the kids. Jennifer Tilly was funny because she plays the medium inside the crystal ball. I
Yeah,
like how they include a lot of those different
Madame
elements from
Leota.
the ride.
Yeah, Madame Leota is her name. The
I
girl in the
knew it. I think
crystal.
you're right. I was drawing a blank there. I didn't have
Mhm.
that here in my notes.
Well,
But
no, I'm a huge Disney fan, so that's the only reason how I know what the name of the crystal ball is.
I really like how they included the song and they had the singing heads. Like that was really cool. Those
Mhm.
statues, they're all in a row.
Yeah,
Like
the
I don't know, I
grooming
got a lot
ghost
of joy
song.
from this movie, and it has some pretty good jump scares in it. Like if anything, and it's got the whole ghost element, and it's got that love
Mhm.
story. It's kind of predictable, and I didn't really. It's not the best movie. I agree. Like it's got a lot of plot holes. There's
Mhm.
some questionable choices in the movie, but I still got a lot of joy from this film, and it's one of my annual Halloween watches. I don't know. I can't get enough of it. I just keep putting it on. I
I
like it.
tell people if you enjoy it, that's good. Because I could tell you I don't like it just because it's not what I'm used to. Like when I see the Haunted Mansion, I'm thinking it's gonna be more creepy than what it was. I mean, like yes, it's a kids movie, so they can't go as creepy with it. But there's just certain things that I don't like. I'll have to rewatch it again, and maybe around Halloween time, I will break it down. I think that's what I'm gonna do,
Okay.
and say exactly why I didn't like it. I mean, like, I think part of the reason why I didn't like it was the guy was just trying too hard. The guy that owned the mansion or whatever, he was trying too hard. I think a little bit. So that's probably why I didn't like it. But I haven't watched it in years because I just don't like the movie.
That's fair. If you don't like it, you're not going to revisit it that often. I totally get that.
Since you're talking about Disney, I love Hocus Pocus. That has horror elements in it. So
Yes, and that's totally a horror movie for kids because it's got like the witchcraft and it's got the zombies. If you ever got a little talking black cat, and how can you not love that?
mhm, right? Yeah. How how can you not love Binks?
Yeah, yeah. He's just such a likable character. Eh? But go on. Like, what else do you love about this movie?
I like how it had like it's a Halloween story and it's about this town of Salem and the Sanderson sisters and how they became how they got how like how they're dead and then they come back to life. They come back every 300 years and stuff like that. And I just like how the story takes place with these kids learning about it in school and stuff like that. And they put history in there.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a lot of substance to it too, because it's about like the brother-sister relationship, and it's about the relationship with the parents, and even the sisters, like the witches, it's about their relationship too. It's they got that whole side plot with the zombie that they had for a henchman, and he kind of like turns on them, like, and then you got the whole thing with Binks. Oh,
Yeah.
and
I love Benny. Benny's my favorite character. He's the zombie that they put back to life from the cemetery. I call him
yeah,
a zombie because he's technically a zombie.
oh, totally a zombie. Yeah, I like when he finally opens his mouth up and he can actually talk.
Yeah. I wish that movie would have been rated R because I'm sure he would have been like saying some bad stuff to them. I just want to see a rated R version of Hocus Pocus just so I could actually see what Benny was saying.
Yeah, for sure. What are your thoughts on Hocus Pocus 2? Are you excited for that?
Yeah,
Nervous?
I'm excited for it. I actually have the
Okay.
book. I've been reading the book. So what I'm gonna do is around when it comes out, because it comes out on Disney Plus the end of September. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch Hocus Pocus and watch Hocus Pocus 2 and compare them plus the book.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'll make sure I check that out. Part of I heard asking if you've seen the teaser for Hocus Pocus 2. I
Yes, I
have.
have.
I have. Yeah, yeah. That's one of those ones I've been hoping for. There's the sequel for ever since it came out, and it's
Yeah,
cool
me
around
too.
here. When it comes to different like seasons of the year, like Christmas or Halloween, they play different kinds of movies, like older movies. So I got a
Mhm.
taste to see Hocus Pocus in theaters again in like the longest time because they played it like a couple years ago at my theater. So it's pretty cool. I got to see it on the big screen again.
That's really cool. Yeah. I was like when that movie came out, I was like 4 or 5, so I got to see it in the movie theater. And then we had the VHS to it, so I got to watch it as a kid.
VHS, the good old days.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But it's one of my favorites.
Oh, for sure. That's one of those classic like Halloween movies. I put that up there for sure. Yeah, that's another annual Halloween watch.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, my cat's bugging me. Well,
It's
it's not to
okay.
bug me when I'm doing these live streams. Say
Hi,
hello to
kitty.
Elsa.
Hi, Elsa. Hi, kitty. Is she a kitten?
No, no, she's 7.
Oh, wow.
She's pretty big. Where's the camera? There you go.
Oh, okay.
You can kind of see. You can't even go.
Yeah.
She's like, put me down. What are you doing?
She's so cute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry about the distraction there. Yeah, Hocus Pocus is one of those
It's
just
okay.
one of those feel good movies too, because it's got a lot of like positive messages, and it's got well, I'm not always a big fan of the happy ending, but sometimes like when it's a movie like this, it's like yeah, that's the way it should end. Like you kind of
Mm-hmm.
root for the sisters, but then again, like those kids are just so charming. Like I love
Right?
that brother sister relationship too. Like they're really funny together.
Yeah, I agree.
That
They have
little
a good
girl steals the
chemistry.
show.
But this one's going to be about their daughter. So Max and the girl, I forget her name at the moment. It's going to be about their daughter.
Yeah, it's like the next generation. So I'm curious where it's gonna go. Hmm.
I already know where it's going to go because I read the book.
I haven't read the book, so that's interesting too. I didn't even know there was a book, honestly, until you said that. So that's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can get it at like Barnes and Noble or Amazon has it or whatever bookstore you have has it.
Awesome. For next on my list, what was I get?
Did you run out?
Yeah, it looks like I ran out. I went down my list. Here we go.
I got you stumped.
So, did you want to mention anything else?
um, there's like so many though. I have it pulled up on Google. I also
That's a
really
good idea.
like. Have you seen Freaky? Have you seen that one?
Yes, I mentioned that I had a live stream with the Gory B movie. We talked about underrated slasher films, and that was one of the ones I mentioned. That's a good choice too. I think that
Oh,
was
nice.
done by the same guy that did Happy Death Day. That movie's so funny. Like I love the two performances between the two main actors. They do good at mimicking each other.
Mm-hmm.
The more I watch it, the more I notice little things about their performances. It's a nice little touch
Mm-hmm.
like that, like the way she puts her hair.
Freaky kind of reminds me that of that what you might call it of Hot Chick.
Yes, with Rob Schneider.
Yes. It reminds me of that movie Freaky. It reminds me of that movie, but the horror version to that movie.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, thank you, Denisha. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, you have a new subscriber. Awesome. Kind about horror is like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I haven't
I
seen
haven't
that
seen it.
one. No, but I've heard good things about it. I've
We'll
actually
have to
missed
watch
one.
it. How about this? We'll watch that and we'll do a review on it together.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
One of the ones that I did not like, I watched this like around Halloween time,
Yeah.
was The Dead Don't Die. That movie was stupid. It has Bill Murray in it,
I
but
didn't
it
like it.
also has Adam Driver in it. So I was like, oh, I'm an Adam Driver fan. I was like, okay, let's watch him do a comedy. Nope, it sucked.
Mhm. I agree. The humor's just so dry, and they keep repeating the same joke over and over again about the song. It's like, okay, that wasn't funny the first time. Like, why are you doing it again and again and again? Like, we get why the movie's called Dead Don't Die. Like, you know what I mean? They just pound you over the head with this song. And it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like, what, why?
Right.
It's just
Denisha's
so
saying
slow,
she's
too, and
subscribed
it
to your
seems
channel too.
anticlimactic. Oh, thank you, Denisha. I appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll have to do a drive for you. I'll have to go on my channel and do a drive for you one day.
Awesome.
So
I
that way you
appreciate
can
that.
get more subscribers.
I
Come,
would love that. That's awesome. One thing
come,
I looked on
you
my
could come
list.
hang out
Sorry.
with me one day and we'll just do a drive and get your channel up there.
That's awesome. I appreciate the support. That's really
You're
nice of you.
welcome.
You don't have to do that. Like you make time for me like that, and you put me into your show, and that's really nice. Half Cheated Will View did that too. He was a fan of my channel. He invited me on for an interview, and that's actually how we met. For the people that are watching, like we met through
Yeah,
him. And
Patrick.
Patrick, yep.
Haunted by Horror, Jennifer, Ashley all know who Patrick is, and Haunted by
Oh,
Horror knows who Patrick is. They all
awesome.
know who Patrick is. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because Jennifer and I are in a group called the Midnight Hour, and he has a sister group, whatever you want to call it, called the Midnight Society. So we're kind of like sister groups. So we all know each other.
You're all in the loop. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's nice. Like I say, this is a small community, but we all know each other. It's interesting how we all know each other.
That's so cool. And thank you for inviting me into your circle like that. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Haunted by Horror says Patrick's great.
Yeah.
Well, one overlooked on my list here. Sorry, I missed it.
Have you ever seen Halloween Town? That one's a good Halloween horror. Well, it's not really horror, but it's a good comedy.
Yeah, not really horror, but yeah, that's a really good one. I like the second one too. After that, they just kind of go downhill. I didn't like the part 3 and part 4 so much.
The last two suck.
Yeah, the last 2 weren't good at all.
Well, you know the person that plays Marnie. She's actually married to the guy, the second one. Calabar's Revenge or whatever.
Yep.
She's actually married to the guy, to the son in that movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Really, I love little fun facts like that.
Yeah, they have a TikTok channel together, and they're always on TikTok. And
cool.
Yeah, and they got married like a couple years ago, I think. But that's how they met, and they became friends and then had a relationship. It's really cool to have fun facts like that. That's what I try to do in my videos. It's some fun facts and stuff that people don't know.
I like doing that too, because I watch a lot of those special features and the commentary and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll just make a little note, like, "Oh, that's a little cool tidbit." Like, not many people know that. So right. Yeah, I agree. It's a nice little touch to your videos. I try to do that too. One that I overlooked on my list that I wanted to talk about was Cabin in the Woods. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I like Cabin in the Woods.
It's a great stand-up show with a lot of different horror genres. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't realize that that was Chris Hemsworth in that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, because this was he actually filmed that before the Avengers, and that's how he met Joss Whedon was through Cabin in the Woods being cast for that one. So we
Yeah.
can thank Drew Goddard for that one.
Hmm. Wait, do you consider here you go? Do you consider the new Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness a horror movie? Do you
Yes,
consider it?
absolutely, because it's just got so much gore to it. Like that movie's a slasher flick if you think about it. The way Scarlet Witch just says, "I'm just going to take out everyone that gets in my way," and she does
Mhm.
not hold back. I love seeing her going full blown Scarlet Witch. I've been waiting for that since she was introduced in the Age of Ultron. I'm like, yeah, but when's she gonna snap? When are we gonna see the Scarlet Witch? Because she was always just kind of Wanda Maximoff before that.
Yeah.
And it was there's a lot of different references to a lot of horror movies too, like there's a lot of
Mhm.
Evil Dead references. I noticed there's
Mhm.
references to like even mirrors. There's
Yeah.
references to The Ring. There's so
Mhm.
many different ones in there. It's really cool how they did that.
Well,
So
it's
I
because
would,
those Sam Raimi, he's pretty good at what he does.
yeah, yeah, you could tell Sam Raimi did it, just like the whole style of it all. Like, cause he does not hold back. It gets dark fast. Like
Mhm.
when that first
Yeah.
Doctor Strange gets killed in the beginning, and then you have that
Mhm.
callback in the end with the zombie Doctor Strange. That was so cool.
Yeah. I didn't like it because I was like they're bringing what if into it too much.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of different references. I was surprised by how many actually. Yeah.
Hmm. Hi, Hobbs.
Oh, hello, Hop.
Um. Um. So. So Cabin in the Woods. I actually liked that movie. That movie was an interesting movie, and then to come find out at the end what it really was, I was like, huh, that's really interesting.
I love when movies do that. And once you watch it, then you see the end, and then it makes you really think about everything else that you just watched, and it completely changes your view, like your
Hmm.
initial view of the movie.
Actually,
Yeah.
Hunger Games, Part Two, The Mockingjay reminded me so much of Cabin in the Woods a little bit by their by the arena part of it reminded me of Cabins in the Woods.
I can totally see that. Real quick, Hobbs is saying, I have both streams up to show support for everyone. I try to
Oh, it's
support
because
everyone in
Patrick's
love.
live right now.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. I had no idea. Sorry. We had planned to do this before on Wednesday, but we had to reschedule it. But I'm really
I
glad
had
that
to go to work.
it all worked out. Yeah, it happens. You know, work gets in the way of life sometimes.
Yeah, it does. But it's all good. No
Yeah,
big
yeah,
deal.
yeah. And now, back to Cabin in the Woods, though. I like the ensemble cast here, and I like how it plays against your typical like cliches. Because
Hmm.
the virgin at the end of the stoner, the is like, you know what, we're done with this. Like, you think they're gonna save the world? It's gonna be like this big happy ending, but no, nope, nope. Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then when you find out, like, when you get to that like underground like facility, I guess, like the office
Hmm.
that they're in, and you find out what it really is. Oh my god, it's just
Right.
unbelievably well written.
Yeah, I agree. I just like Cabin in the Woods because it's an interesting movie about like the stereotypical teenagers, and then they all have to be in the cabin in the woods, and it's interesting how they all have to try to come together because they find out what's actually really going on.
Yeah, there's this whole bigger picture behind the scenes that you don't even realize because you think it's one movie, then it turns out to be this whole other thing. And, oh, it's really hard to
Hmm.
describe to someone that hasn't seen it, but I always recommend it when I'm talking about horror movies because it's really a nice tribute to horror movies too. If you think about it, a lot of references to a lot of different
Yeah.
horror movies, especially when they're in
Yeah.
that box with all the little cubes.
Hmm. I also really like. Have you seen Vampire Academy? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It has Zoe Dutch in it. Dutch, however you say her name.
Okay.
Um, and this is based on a book. And so basically, she's a human and she has to watch over this vampire. And they end up going to the Vampire Academy, and she's the only like human. It's a horror comedy. And so basically, what happens is she starts to fall in love with the vampire, and they're not supposed to fall in love and stuff like that. And it's just an interesting like story.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I haven't seen that one before, but I'll make sure to check it out. Who's in that one?
Zoe Dutch, or
Okay, yeah.
however you say her name.
Yeah, some of these names you look at it, you're like, I'm not sure. So you kind of have to guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes that's why I don't try to pronounce people's names in my videos unless I know who it is.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Another one that I want to mention, I just googled it because I just thought of it, was Cirque du Freak with
Oh yeah, that
John C.
one's a good
Riley.
one.
It's about the kid. He becomes a vampire, and then he ends up joining this circus. It then just kind of goes from there because it's one of those ones. Again, it
It
starts
also
off
has
one
John
way.
C. Riley in it too.
Yeah, yeah, John C. Riley. He's one of my favorite like character actors because no matter which one he's in, like he really loses himself in the role, and he's always good. Like when he's in his
Hmm.
movies, especially like the voice work that he's been doing lately for like Wreck-It Ralph. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And also, Josh Hutcherson's in that movie before. He played PETA in The Hunger Games. It's actually
Yeah.
in that movie. It's a really
So
good movie, and it's a book series. It's a really good book series as well.
yeah.
I like how they put some of the book material in it as well in that movie.
Also, you've read the books. I haven't read the books, but I did know it
Yeah.
was based on a book series.
Hmm.
It's a bit they
I
only
read
made
the
the one movie though.
Yeah, they only made the one movie, but there's a bunch of the books. They're kind of
Huh.
like the Goosebumps books or like the Nancy Drew books. There's like so many of them.
Oh, so it's if they wanted to, they could keep doing like sequels. That's too bad
Yeah.
that they didn't do that.
I think the reason why they didn't do it is because there were so many um the movie didn't do so well. It's one of those underrated films, so
It happens sometimes, right? Like they have expectations for a film and they don't always perform. So
mhm.
it all depends on what's coming out at the time too, right? There's competition out there. There's a lot of
Yeah.
competition out there.
Another one I really like that kind of has horror elements in it, and it's kind of a comedy, is Horns with Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. You haven't seen Horns? It's on Tubi right now.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I love
If you
Tubi.
have Tubi.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I love Tubi.
Um, and that one is a interesting movie. It's really good. It's a darker movie, but it's really good.
Awesome.
It, so you follow Daniel Radcliffe in it. He's blamed for the murder of his girlfriend, and all this stuff starts happening and stuff like that. And so it's a different role. This was after he did Harry Potter, so it's a little different of a role for him because this was like a little while after Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People are
And
just saying
Maverick,
hello. Maverick, sorry I'm late. No problem, no problem.
I sent him the link earlier, and I said if you're around, come check
Yeah,
us out.
we're just having fun here. We're talking about our favorite horror comedies. What else did you have that you wanted to mention?
I had Piranha. That one's a funny one.
Yeah, yeah, that one is really funny because the gore of that's really, really goofy. A lot
Yeah,
of the deaths are comical.
yeah. Well, it's a '80s film.
Yeah.
I like the '80s like horror genres and stuff too, because they do have some of those do have some highly good elements in it.
Yeah, yeah, I love the cheesy 80s movies too because some of them are just so like,
Mhm.
how did they think of this? You know what I mean? Like, you can't believe it
Right.
actually got made kind of thing. Because some of them
Mhm.
couldn't get made today.
I also another one is the Attack of the Killer Donuts. If you haven't seen that, watch that.
I have not heard of that before. I'm very intrigued by that.
It's an interesting movie. It's on Tubi as well. It's a really interesting low budget horror comedy film.
Wow, that sounds good.
I actually was on somebody else's channel, and we actually got to interview the two actors from that movie.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's really lucky.
yeah. The Attack of the Killer Donuts is basically these donuts with teeth, and they kill people.
You sold me. That's all I need to know.
They have the. Have you heard of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes too?
I've
They
seen
have
that
that.
one. Yeah, yeah. I love those cheesy like features from the 80s. And even
Uh-huh.
kind of like Gremlins is like a horror comedy because it does get pretty funny at some points.
Yeah, it is. Also they have Rubber. Have you heard of that one?
I've heard of it, but I have not seen it. That's the one
I
with the
haven't seen
tire,
it
right?
either. What?
That's the one about the killer tire.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
You know what I also saw on TV? They have Attack of the Killer Couch.
Oh,
I haven't seen it though.
I know I haven't seen it, but that's pretty funny. All pretty good choices. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
There's just like so many different ones that there's like just so many that it's like hard to choose your favorite ones, really.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down. Like I said, I just went to Google real quick just to see what else. 'Cause there's so many good ones to mention.
Yeah, there is.
Like
Do you
even like
guys
as the Evil
guys in
Dead
the
movies go
chat have
along, they
any
get more and
favorite
more
ones?
silly. Sorry, go ahead.
What? I was asking in the chat if they had any favorite ones.
Oh yeah, good thinking. Because all I said was even some of the later Evil Dead ones, they get more goofy as they go along. They get
Yeah,
sillier,
they do.
especially when you get to
Yeah, they
like
do.
Evil Ash.
Yeah. I've only seen the first two Evil Deads. I haven't seen any of the other ones, but yeah,
The
they're
remake's okay. It's more serious though. Like it's way more serious. Like there's practically no comedy in it. Like it's just one of those dramatic horror movies. Like it kind of takes itself too serious at times. Like a lot of times you need
Mhm.
the humor just to kind of take away from like the tension, to make the tension a little bit more impactful when it does happen. So
Right.
that's my only complaint against that one. It was too serious for its own good.
Mhm. Hobbs is asking, did you play video games? Yeah, I played video games when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. I play video games.
I don't anymore because I don't have a system, but I used to.
Oh, okay. Oh, another good one. I can't believe I forgot to mention this was Adam's Family, the
Oh
one
yeah,
from the
that's a good one.
'90s, directed
Mhm.
by Barry Sonnenfeld. Sorry, I can't pronounce his
Yeah.
name. But yeah, but those are really good. I like Adam's Family, and then the sequel was even better, actually. Adam's Family Values. I just
Yeah.
love the cast in that movie because they just sell the characters so well. You got Morticia, you got Gomez, you got Wednesday,
Mhm.
you got Pugsley, and then the little baby and Adam's Family Values. Like, and
Yeah.
then like the second one,
Have
I
you
think when they
seen
go to the summer camp, and that's my favorite part too. When Wednesday just so much different from the other girls, and she scares the hell out of these kids, and they take over with the Thanksgiving like the show.
Yeah.
There's a
That's
lot of
so
like laugh
funny.
out loud moments. It's one of those rewatchable films. It's just
Yeah.
so funny, but they have that dark gothic style too, and even the humor itself is really funny too. Like when they're going through like the different closets, and they're like, "Oh, this
Mhm.
is Uncle Morty or whatever," and they throw it to the side.
Yeah, I agree with you. Did Hobbs is saying the Evil Dead video games.
Oh, I haven't played the video games for Evil Dead. No, no, no. And then
Yeah,
Corey creates
I
Cinema.
played the Silent Hill video games.
Those are really good, and I like Resident Evil.
Mhm.
Resident Evil's so
Hey,
good.
Carrie.
Yeah, she says
Oh
she's
yeah, I
watching
forgot it
Shark
is
Week,
Shark Week.
talking to us. Thank you for
I
joining
forgot
us,
it's Shark
Carrie.
Week. I forgot it was Shark Week.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh well. I mean, like I love shark movies, but I just forgot it's Shark Week. You should watch Ouija Shark.
Ouija Shark? I haven't heard of that one.
It's on TV. It's a Wild Eye film. It's a
Oh,
low
okay.
budget film. It's a Brett Kelly film, but it's like a cult classic.
I love low budget films because the way they handle like how they do things is so creative sometimes. It's so innovative
Mhm.
because they don't have super big budgets to play with. They got a
Mhm.
certain
Well,
amount, right? And the way they execute a lot of these special effects and even like a lot of the acting, some of it's surprisingly good for people that aren't like the same professionals as some of these big blockbusters. So a lot of
mhm.
low budget films are underrated in my opinion. More people try to pay attention to those. So it's cool that you mentioned that.
Yeah, if you like shark movies or anything like that, just go to Tubi and put in shark movies. There's a whole bunch of shark movies.
I love shark movies. Hop says, I'm upset I wanted to do Shark Week, but I forgot about the dates. Mark it on the calendar next year.
Yeah, done. Yeah,
People are saying hello to each other.
yeah, because Maverick and Carrie know each other. Like I said, we all know each other.
That's so cool how you all know each other like that. It
Because
just seems like a pretty cool group.
I invited all of them.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I made sure to put it on all my socials too, but I don't have as big of a reach of you. So I appreciate that you did that.
I can so I will give you their Instagrams and you could go follow them.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Carrie will tell you we'll adopt you like they adopted me, right, Carrie? Carrie
Carrie
can't
says,
get rid of me.
Yeah, Carrie says she's
Carrie
making a
Maverick.
Shark Week video, so that's pretty much covered. We can just watch that. The top 10 shark films and shark trivia. Ooh, I would totally watch that. That sounds awesome.
Oh, Carrie, I'm so here for it. I still have to watch your video that you did on Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I still have to go watch that video.
She has a really good screen video too about what 6 could be about. After watching 5, she analyzed it, and she analyzed some of the other movies too, and she draws her own conclusions from it. It's really interesting. She makes good points.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you see the reaction video I did to the trailer to Halloween and Jeepers Creepers that I did?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I did. It was my first 2 trailer reactions to it.
Ooh, I'm gonna go watch those now. That sounds awesome. I've been thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure.
I'm thinking about going to do because the new trailer teaser came out for Black Panther 2. I'm thinking about doing that one too.
I've seen a lot of different reactions for that one. Like I haven't watched them, but they keep popping up in my feed.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's saying hello to each other.
You know I love you, Carrie.
She said
Carrie and Maverick
fun with that video.
Mary and Maverick have become one of my best friends.
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how people like get so connected just through YouTube and things like that nowadays. Like otherwise, some people wouldn't have just met each other because we come from all corners of the world, right? Like I'm in Canada. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where you're located, but some people I know are in California. Some people I know are in the UK.
I'm in New York.
Oh, you're in New York, and you're not that far. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I'm in Niagara Falls.
Okay, so I'm about 4 hours from you because I live in Plattsburgh, New York.
Okay.
So I'm an hour away from Montreal, Canada.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, we got the chat going now. Spectacular Killer Donuts is mentioned.
And she's saying microwave cat.
Microwave massacre, yeah. Media Maverick says she's in California. That's awesome. I have family in California.
Yeah. No, we all support each other. Yep, we do.
Yeah. Flips, you live in Niagara Falls? Yeah, I do, Carrie.
Canada? You live in Canada,
Oh,
right?
On the Canadian side, yes. Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
We got the Horseshoe Falls, and then there's the other side with the other falls, the furthest flat.
Yeah. So you're about 4 hours from me. Carrie also lives in New York too.
Oh, that's cool.
Jennifer, Carrie, if you haven't seen Attack of the Killer Donuts, you have to watch that. I want to see your reaction to that. You have to watch that. You haven't seen it.
Yeah. Carrie's in Buffalo. That's not far from where I live at all. I've been to Buffalo many times. There, I'm going all over the place. Sorority Babes at the Slime Ball Bolorama. That sounds, the title says it all. Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I also like the Sharknado movies. I guess those can kind of count as horror comedies. They get more goofy as they go along. They're just silly, fun movies. I haven't
seen any of those.
Oh, I recommend Sharknado. There's like 6 of them now. They keep making them.
I see them on Tubi.
Yeah. I totally recommend those ones too. They're good horror comedies.
Okay, I'll review it for you.
Awesome.
That's horror what I'm saying, Katie. You've seen Attack of the Killer. Have you've seen it? Have you seen it, Carrie? I want to know if she's seen it.
Oh yeah, she's saying it was hilarious. So I think she has.
Yeah, it was. I want to see Attack of the Killer Tomatoes too. I can't even talk now. I've been talking all day now. I can't even talk. and I have to go on another live stream after this one.
This kind of like your warm up.
That one's like at 11:30 at night. So.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Have you heard of Night Watch Own? Do you know who Night Watch Own is?
No.
Okay.
A lot of people. I'm sorry, I haven't heard of some of these people before, and I'm embarrassed. Like I've heard of Hobbs. I know Carrie already. I've talked with her. I haven't met Jennifer before, but thank you for watching, Jennifer.
Jennifer, me, Hobbs, and Ashley. We're all part of the same group, and then Carrie and Maverick I met because they're my two. Like I said, they're 2 of my new best friends. I met them on Craven Something Scary's channel.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen his channel too. He's got some pretty good content. And then you're talking a lot about Scream 6.
And then they just kind of adopted me. Carrie just adopted me, whether she likes it or not. No, I'm kidding.
Carrie says, Flicks, we need to do a show. Our community is such a beautiful place. I'm totally down, Carrie. Just tell me
Yeah,
when.
we could all do a show. There we go.
Cool. That sounds like fun.
But yeah, Carrie and I actually, oh shit, I forgot. Oops, excuse my language. I forgot to look Carrie at work. I forgot to look what I worked on. What day did we say we were doing it? I forgot. We're gonna talk about Crimson Peak.
Ooh.
Do you like that movie?
I do. I love that movie. That's really underrated because not many people talk about that, and it really does deserve attention because it's such a beautiful film. And I just love the way Guillermo del Toro does like his set designs and the way he directs his films with that certain visual style. I also liked Pan's Labyrinth. That's one of my favorites from him. He did that way before. And the Hellboy movies, just like the way he does things, it's very unique. Kind of like Tim Burton. It's got a similar look to it, but each movie feels different in its own way. And it's cool how he can do that, especially with Crimson Peak. It's such a beautiful film.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's really good gothic stories. Like
when I go to work on Thursday, remind me, Carrie. Remind me. On Thursday, I'll have you try to remind me on Thursday to look what I work next Saturday. Because we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna talk about that movie. Yes. Me
looks
too.
Like Carrie loves Guillermo del Toro too. Yeah, he does make it hard. He's got that like gothic romantic style to it.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does.
Very visionary director. Yeah, totally. Jennifer says, Pops adopted me a while back, and that's how I got to know everyone.
Yeah. Well, we'll adopt you too, Chris. We'll adopt you too.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
we all, like I said, it's actually really a big community, but if you find like people, they'll support you no matter what. So you just have to, it's bigger than you think, but everybody really actually knows each other. It's interesting.
That's cool. It's cool that we all support each other too. It's important because people forget this isn't really a competition. We're just all passionate about the same thing, and we all just want to share our love for it. That's why we do these videos.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. But no, later on I'm going to be on Night Watch Zone. I'll send you his link, and with Craven Something Scary, and we're gonna watch Frankenhooker. I think that's the name of it, Frankenhooker.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna watch that. Yes, the community
keeps adopting everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Katie, you and Carrie inherit me, so it's a great grandparent who passed the left to their collective of caps. So what? I'm your great grandparent, apparently, Maverick.
Apparently, that's what I got from that. Yeah. Carrie and I were talking to. We planned on doing a video about comparing a remake to the original one, and we had a few ideas. I think that's the one that we're gonna go with. We just haven't set like a set day yet, so I'll DM you later, Carrie. We could talk about that. Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah,
I started watching the channel,
awesome.
and I'm like, I gotta talk to this person because some people just have like this quirky humor and similar to mine. So it's fun collaborating with different kinds of people too. I love doing collaborations.
That's funny. I feel like that's funny.
Oh, let's see. I don't know about inherited. I feel like a puppy in a basket left on my doorstep. And
Carrie, you're like my little sister. That's the way I put it. Carrie's like my little sister.
Oh, that's so nice. We could make a series. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because there's so many remakes now, eh?
And
they're not all very good. I don't want to say too much because there's one that we're going to talk about first, and it's really special to both of us. So a lot of people don't even realize it's a remake. So it might surprise a few people in the future. So who knows?
That will be good.
Stay tuned.
How old am I? I'm 36, Carrie.
Oh, that's funny. I'm 36 too.
I just turned 36 in June 27th.
I'm a November baby. I'm a Scorpio.
Okay, I'm a Cancer.
Ah, cool.
My brother's Scorpio.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to our list here?
There's like a couple of honorable. I can't even talk. Honorable mentions. I can't even talk today.
Honorable
It's been
mention.
like that all day. I'm slightly younger sister than. I'm only messing with Carrie, but you could be my little sister. Have you seen what is it called? I have to look this up because I can't remember the name of it. The heck is it? The Scouts Guys to the Zombie Apocalypse. Have you seen that one?
Yes, that is a really good one.
It's one of my honorable mention. I always like to, if I do like top things, I like to do a couple of honorable mentions.
That's a good point. Just on top of my head, one that I want to mention is Cooties. It's another zombie apocalypse one, but it's really funny, and it's an honorable mention because it was done by Lee Wannell, and he's one of my favorite writers. Like, because he's done a lot of really good films. Like, and I think Saw was his first film. That's one of the first ones that introduced to me, and I love the Saw films. Like, it's up there for me. It's one of my favorite franchises. So the fact that he's going out and still doing all different kinds of movies, like he's got zombie movies, he did that Invisible Man movie, like he just keeps doing different kinds of horror movies, and it's pretty cool. And then he can do comedy too, which is really difficult. Comedy's harder than people realize because for my videos, I try to write these jokes, and it's scary because you don't know like what's gonna hit. People get a big kid, the same kind of humor as you, like you don't know what's gonna be funny to other people. Like just because you think something's funny doesn't mean other people do, and it works both ways. So. That's what I mean. Comedy's stressful. You can overthink it.
I agree with you. Okay, yep. So I'm about a couple years older.
I'm Michael Jordan's old iconic jersey number backwards. LOL. That's my age. Very cryptic, Carrie. Very cryptic. I see what you did
I'm like
there.
6 years older. I'm like 5 years older. 4 or 5 years older than you.
Yep.
But that's okay. Age is only but a number. That's what I say.
I agree. Oh, my cat's bugging me again. Different cat this time.
But yeah. But those were mine. Hi, kitty.
My cat's bugging me. This is Bella. She's older.
Hi, Bella. Oh, cute. I'm a needy puppy. Well, Maverick.
I'm a needy puppy. Carrie says no one can ever guess my age. So it's all good.
I know how old you are.
Yeah, that's a compliment, eh? When someone tries to guess your age and it's younger, you're like, wow, that's cool.
Hey, I get one of my work all the time. I get like I'm a high school kid and I need to be in school.
I get told that too. I get told I look like a teenager. So I'm like, wow, thanks. Carrie says, no, it's okay. We'll get you tons of toys.
That's funny. Y'all are cracking me up tonight.
Yeah. This has been so much fun. Thank you for joining me. And everyone in the chat too. You're all so talkative and so friendly. Like it's thank you for this welcoming.
You're welcome.
It's very nice. It's very, very pleasant.
Yes. I had a great time. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you again for coming out and making the time, even though you had another one today. I had one this morning. I think you watched it. It was with Movies and Munchies.
I was at work, actually, so I just popped on and said hi.
Oh, okay. That was nice of you.
But I knew who the guest was because I follow his channel as well.
Yeah, he does a lot of Netflix content. So if you guys are curious what's on Netflix right now, he does a lot of movies and TV shows too, not just movies. So he's a good channel for that. He's the Netflix guy, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, tell them what the channel is so they can go.
Oh, Movies and Munchies. Movies and Munchies.
Yeah, I'm a chatterbox too. Okay, Carrie. You probably won't. When we do our live stream, you probably won't be able to get us to be quiet.
Yeah, I'm pretty excitable. So when I have ideas, I just want to get them out there. So sorry if I've been like kind of stepping on. I've been trying to work on that. I'm not really used to doing live streams, so I'm trying not to talk over people. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it happens. I even talk over people. It's bound to happen, especially if you have more than one person on a stream. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. Maverick says, yay, toys.
Craven and Knight talk over each other on Night Watch Zone. They talk over each other sometimes.
Yeah, I noticed that on Craven's channel. She tends to talk over people too. So
It happens. Well, if
yeah,
you go back, Colorado Killer Queen Ashley and I, and Carrie were all on Craven's stream a few weeks back. If you were there, I don't know if you were there or not.
no, I wasn't there, but I've
We
been
were
trying
talking
to.
about Scream 3.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you like Scream, I've actually ranked and reviewed all the Scream movies on my channel too. So if anyone's interested, you can check that out. I got a playlist all set up and everything. So, and I got a playlist with all the different crossovers. A lot of different YouTubers were reaching out, and I really appreciate all the love and support from everybody. It's very
You're
nice.
so very welcome, and you're welcome to come on my channel anytime you like.
Oh, well, thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate that.
Right. Maverick saying he subbed to you a week ago or so. I'm always popping into the show. Love it.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Maverick. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Carrie says that's why Bearded Entertainment puts his finger up. So when he wants to talk during the stream, yeah, I noticed that.
Yes, we like to share. Yep, Jennifer says it all. We like to share our love for movies with each other and other people.
And it's so cool that we have this little online community of people that love and share and support movies because we all have this passion for it.
Yeah,
that's why we make the videos, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. That's the
And
way
I'm excited I
see
can finally live stream. I just got enough subs to do it, and that was a lot of help from a Gory B movie. I have 2 videos with her now, so she's been really supportive too. So you guys should check her out. She does all kinds of horror movies, and especially like the lesser known stuff, those cheesy B movies. Hence her name. So you guys should check her channel out too. She's really good.
Yeah, Gory's really nice. I like Gory.
Oh, you've met her. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. I've been in her live chats. I haven't actually been on a stream with her, but in her live chats and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen you there in the live chats. I just wasn't sure if you actually made it, a video with her or not yet. But that's cool that you support her like that. It's cool that we all support each other. We all need that support.
And Carrie and Maverick know who she is, and Jennifer knows who she is, and Hobbs knows who she is. Awesome. Everybody knows who she is.
Everyone knows. I'm behind. I'm the only one who's out of the loop. I'm telling you all the information y'all already know.
Well, it's because she's one of the bigger channels. She's one of the bigger channels.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when I sent her some DMs. She actually got back to me pretty quickly. And she's like, yeah, I'll do a show with you. I was like, oh, wow. Because it's 50-50, right? Like, it doesn't have to ask. What's she going to do? Say no, and then I'll just move to the next
That
one.
was like me when I did a movie with Night Watch Zone. I asked him if he wanted to do the Blade movies, and he's like, yeah, this is like a while back when I was first starting out. And he's like, yeah, I'll come on. And he came on, and we were talking about the Blade movies.
That's awesome. Carrie says she did do a stream with Gory B, and she's such a sweetheart. Yeah, she really is too. She's so nice and supportive, and she's very helpful too. I've had a lot of questions about like how to do videos and how to approach content, and like even with the live stream, she helped me with that too. So yeah, she's very sweet like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is.
9 people. Really nice. I'd love to stay in chat, but unfortunately, I do have to go. I work at night, so I got to go to work in a couple hours. I got to get ready.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with Chris and I, and have a great evening. I'll be back on Night Watch Zone at 11:30 p.m. We're gonna watch Frankenhooker if you guys haven't watched it.
That's awesome. Where can people find you on social media for people who see this that might not know?
You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook/groups, Popping the Popcorn. I also have a Patreon page. You can go if you want to support my channel, Patreon/Popping the Popcorn. And I'm also on TikTok as KDB, but I don't really do anything on there, but I do have a TikTok, but that's about it.
I'm the same way. I have a TikTok and I have a couple of videos, but I don't really do the whole TikTok thing. I focus more on YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah.
TikTok's all right. It's just not, I'm bad at TikTok.
Yeah, me too.
Real quick, Carrie says, I did stream with her and Nancy Ann Ritter. Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know who that is. Nancy,
I think that's the girl that was in the bathroom in Scream.
Oh, okay.
She does a few videos with Craven on his channel. How did you get your system up again? Maverick says, I love Frankenhooker. I'm still usually putting in links because of the modding. You are a Frankenhooker.
Yeah. I'll tell you offline. You should have a couple of mods who you really trust, so that way, if somebody in the as you're live streaming, if somebody comes in, like there's bots and stuff, or people just being rude,
Yeah.
you should get a couple of people to be your mods on the channel.
Okay. Thanks for the advice. Any tips you have, I'm more than willing to hear them out. I appreciate any advice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
for instance- what?
so that's what you do, just in case somebody's in the chat being a nuisance or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. In case someone's not being so nice. That's good advice. Yeah. Cool.
Yep. All right, guys.
Yeah, I hope everyone has a good night. You can find me I'm on Instagram, Twitter. My Facebook was hacked recently, so I have a new Facebook page. So I'll put a new link for that. And so make sure you're careful about that. I'm also on Medium, and I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com, and I do frequent appearances on their channel too, HorrorBuzz Live, and I'll put links for all that stuff down below too. Same with Katie's links. So thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great night.
Bye, everybody.